Beautiful. So I invite you to find a seat and take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just a little sigh here. Becoming conscious and intentional of finding a settled center for your practice. And taking a moment to get very intentional about welcoming yourself to your mat, to the moment. And opening your awareness enough to bring in all the different parts of you, all the feelings, all the thoughts, all the gratitudes, all the anxieties, everything that makes up your unique, beautiful and complex self in any moment. And as we transition from one year into another, and many people are going through transitions in their life with great frequency these days, I've noticed. It seems like the speed of change in our lives has sped up. And so our practice today, my observation is that it's a really good idea during these times to go back and check your foundations. Maybe that's your foundation of your practice, your being. And in our embodiment practice, in our bodies, in yoga, traditionally, our foundations are the parts of our body in any posture that are touching the earth, touching the floor. And from a nervous system regulation perspective, this conscious attention to the presence and the feeling of our body touching the ground is very resourcing, very grounding, very steadying. So as ever, option to keep eyes closed or open as feels right for you. We'll take a few breaths, just noticing the sensation in the body and how it's responding to that offering of support from the ground beneath you. And again, taking a deeper breath. Sighing out through the mouth. Whew. I believe one of our primary foundations is to come back to ourselves, to deepen this connection. I'm going to invite you to begin the practice, the movement practice today, with a little bit of self-touch. It's called self-havening. So finding that haven within ourselves. And if you need to open your eyes and watch me, you can. If you can follow along just listening to my voice with your eyes closed, that can be lovely as well. So we're going to start by bringing the hands together and very gently and slowly rubbing them together like you were washing your hands with great savoring, just feeling the contact of the skin of the two hands against each other. And just offering yourself the warmth of this touch. And if you can, continuing to stay a little present with the breath in the background, just anchoring in and out. And bringing your hands to the outsides of your shoulders. And just gently stroking down from the shoulders to the elbows. And find the pressure of touch that feels good for you. And gently noticing how your body responds to the touch. And then taking the hands up to the forehead and gently stroking out towards the temples, perhaps under the eyes, around the cheeks and jaw. And again, finding the pressure and speed that feels really good to your system. And then gently setting the hands down and taking a moment just to feel the impact of this practice. Notice any shifts inside the body. Notice how you feel. And bringing hands to chest in prayer. Gently curl the thumbs so they're bent and the knuckles of your thumbs can rest onto the chest. And the invitation for intention for this class today is a practice of finding and firming our foundations together. Foundations of our being, of our practice, of our place in our lives. Gently releasing the hands down. You can blink open your eyes if you wish, after keeping them closed, and you can always close them down again. And take a breath in and bring the right ear towards the right shoulder, just opening up through that left side of the neck. So for today's practice, I want you to emphasize this finding, this exploration in the movement. Where is the foundation of any posture, movement, practice? Finding the core of it, the center of it, the base of it for you. And then a breath in to lift up to center. And a breath out to take the, left ear to left shoulder. And same again, so notice how as you change, this side might feel different. It might take a moment to adjust and settle. Exploring and finding that foundation, finding that core in yourself, in how you hold the whole pose. Good, and then breath up to center. And you take the arms out as you breathe in, just out to the sides. And then as you exhale, gently bringing them in, taking your belly button back and rounding your upper back. So we're just going to do a gentle expansion and contraction here. Breathing into the expansion, opening up, arms out. Breathing out, gently curling in. Three more times. See if you can find your own juicy rhythm here. Breath in, open. And breath out to close and curl. Yeah, nice. One more. And then inhale to center. Exhale to release. Notice how you're feeling, how the legs are feeling, how it's feeling to be in contact with the earth. And if anything needs to shift, I'm noticing that my body's wanting to change the cross of the legs. So I'm going to swap mine over, bring the other leg in front for a little while. Good. And I'm even going to come off my cushion here and feel even more in connection with the earth through my sit bones on the ground. Hands to the knees. I'm going to deepen that rhythm and that wave through the spine here. As you breathe in, lifting up the heart and seeing if you can create a gentle back bend all the way up, lifting up through the sternum, through the heart, drawing the back body in, and then as you exhale, rounding. So if it feels good to, the invitation is to go even a little deeper into the movement of the spine here. Breath in, lift up. Breath out to round. And again, as you inhale. And an awareness that the spine, breathing out and curling, is the foundation of almost everything in our body in terms of movement. The nervous system and the structure of our skeleton. Breath in, lifting up. Exhale to round. And again, inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale back to center. Exhale and take the legs out for a moment. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Pressing your fingers into the foundation, into the earth to help you sit up. Press the sit bones down into the ground. Lift up through the spine from coccyx, from tailbone to crown of the head. And then as you exhale, belly, ribs, chest taking you forward, bring the arms around. And we're going to actually just rest here on our own legs. Feel the contact between the soles of the feet and the earth, the sit bones and the earth. Inhale to rise up. And then exhale, folding the knees. We're going to bring the soles of the feet in together for Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. And I like to pop my fingers in behind my knees for a minute and give that a little bit of a squeeze just to feel a bit of activation. So we're going to squeeze the fingers and gently press the knees down towards the floor. Once you've got a sense of that, you can release the hands, take them to the feet. If it feels good, to just gently explore moving your body forward, down towards the feet, adding in a little bit of rounding to the spine. Remembering to explore the foundations for you. Where do you feel the core of the pose? The place in your body that holds you. Breath in to rise up. And then I want to give a little bit of attention to the feet. So whenever we're looking at foundations in our practice and in our lives, I think it's really good to find your feet again. Find the foundation of the feet. So starting with the ankles here, just giving a little bit of warmth, a little bit of a rub to one of your ankles. And then just getting onto the top of that foot, through the toes, under the bottom, massaging out each toe, just waking the feet up. Good. If you want to do a bit of extra stretching, you can even try to stretch the ankle a little bit, stretch the toes, curl them forward, curl them back. A fun yogic practice is to try and stick a finger in between each toe. See if you've got enough space for each finger, only if you want to. That's quite fun. So when we spread the toes, get a little bit more access. Swapping to the other foot, starting with the ankle. And just doing that self-touch in a way that is the right pressure, the right frequency for you. Moving around to the top of the foot, underneath. I'm always quite surprised by how grounded I feel after giving a little bit of attention to my feet. It's very relaxing for me. Working on the toes. Good. And again, that invitation, if it feels good, you might try to fit a finger, just the top knuckle, in between each toe. Feel what that's like. Get a bit of movement in there. You might explore manually stretching out the ankle, stretching out the toes. And then come back to center and just notice how you feel. What impact, how does that get registered in the body? Any shifts, what do you notice? Good. Then inviting the knees up as you breathe in, supporting them with your hands if you wish. Come to center. We're going to come all the way over onto child's pose, into child's pose, onto the mat. And here, again, really contacting your awareness of the contact between the body and the floor. So we'll take a wide-kneed child's pose with the toes touching, the knees out to the edges of the mat and the hips back to the heels. Start with your fingertips here on the floor. Really feel like you've got roots growing down from those fingers into the earth. Breathing in, feel your hips move back towards your heels and feel solid. Allow yourself that sense of real connection to checking the foundations of your pose before you deepen. And you can walk the hands forward and coming all the way down if that's available to you, or resting in the version that you have until your forehead meets the floor. We're going to take a few long breaths here. This is called balasana in the Sanskrit, or child's pose. And again, physically, we're in a posture of deep surrender, relaxation, and soothing for our parasympathetic nervous system. Well, soothing for our body through the parasympathetic. And you can explore here, finding the foundation. You can flip the palms up, turn the palms to the ceiling. You can close them together and rest them behind your head in prayer. You might even fold the arms one over the other and rest your forehead onto the hands. And feel how each variation creates an effect in the body. And then again, stretching the arms out long. Taking a breath in, sit bones back to heels, fingers stretching long as you exhale. We're going to walk the hands to the side and invite a bit of a side bend opening here. So I'll come around this way for you to see perhaps a little better. If you walk your hands over to the right, you can extend through the left side body here. Feeling the sit bones draw back towards the heels still, and finding the space and extension through the side body by drawing your left fingertips forward. And you might even gently rock from side to side with the torso, wriggle around. Explore the waves of movement gently through the posture. Good. Breath in back to center. Exhale nice and long. Inhale, raising up the torso just a little bit off the floor. And then exhale to walk your hands around to the other side. Noticing the difference. When you first meet the pose, draw the sit bones back. Reach through the right fingertips. Keep coming back to the foundations, feeling the contact with the earth, wherever it's occurring in your body. Feel into the spaces of your body, the hands, the forehead, fronts of the legs. And breathing in to gently lift the head back off the floor. Exhale to center. And take a few breaths here again, exploring where the arms feel most at ease. Coming to fingertips, the arms outstretched, breathing in. We lift up just a little more this time and come to the flats of the hands. And take a variation of needle, thread the needle pose here. So I'm going to take the right arm and thread it through behind your left hand here until you come onto the outer edge of that upper arm. So we're inviting a little bit of a twist here. So right arm across. And you can rest the right side of the face to the floor as well. Breath in, back up to center. Exhale to plant the right hand back, breathe in. And exhale to move left arm through underneath until you reach onto the outer edge of the upper arm. And then resting the face back to the floor. Giving time and space to the body to really be in touch with what happens when you offer a different posture for the body to explore. Then breath in, press into the right hand. Bring the left hand back. Exhale, planting the hand and then walking your hands back towards you. I'm going to come onto hands and knees here. If your knees are getting a little bit sore from all that contact with the earth, just give them a little bit of a rub for a minute. And finding your way onto hands and knees, toes tucked. Hands are shoulder width apart and the knees are hip width apart. So here when we get intentional in our practice with the placement of parts of our body, we're setting up the foundations. The parts of the body touching the earth. Toes tucked, if you can. Breath in, belly down, heart and tailbone up. And then exhale to round. So even deeper with this wave-like motion through the spine now. Maximum space for the spine to move. Breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. And exhale to round. Breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. And exhale to round. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time as you inhale, belly down, head and tailbone up. And then exhale to round, and here invite you to wriggle around again, finding space and release through the different places in the spine and the back.
Notice how it's feeling. And then back to center.
So in addition to feet, foundations also include, for many of us, strengthening the back of our bodies. So we have a real tendency to use the front muscles of the body to pull forward rather than be supported from the back. So I'm going to invite you to come down. We'll do a few movements to start to strengthen up through the back of the body. Coming down all the way onto your mat. Resting the forehead to the floor, front of the body in contact with the floor, tops of the feet in contact with the floor, and arms down by your side with the backs of the hands down. So your palms are facing up. And then I want you to imagine that you're pressing your sit bones into the floor. So this is called a posterior tilt for the pelvis here. Hips are pulling back a little bit, sit bones going down. And breathe in. Keep that pressing the pelvis into the floor through the sit bones, and lift up through the torso. And just take a few breaths. Good. Gently set the forehead back to the floor. Take one breath to loosen and relax and just feel. And then reset, pressing the tops of the feet into the floor and feeling a bit of activation through the legs, the buttocks, the back. This time we're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, lifting just the legs up and trying to lead from the back of your body, from the glutes, the hamstrings. Keeping those sit bones pressing down. I'm just going to hold for a few breaths. And gently release. Excellent. Take a breath to reset. Pressing down into the floor, tops of the feet, fronts of the thighs. Really feel those sit bones pressing down into the earth. Backs of the hands on the floor. This time we're going to inhale, lift up both torso and legs together. Hands stay on the floor. And a few breaths. Good, and gently release. Taking a breath to reset. Good. Bringing the hands under the shoulders. Tucking the toes. We're going to come back up onto hands and knees as you breathe in. Exhale to reset, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Good. From here, so we're going to stay with this strengthening through the posterior chain, through the back body. I want you to breathe in, lift your left arm up and out. Exhale to hold. Then breathe in, we're going to take the right leg back at the same time. So balancing, bit of core exercise. So breath in, leg goes back, right, arm is extended. And then as you exhale, curling the spine and bringing knee and elbow together underneath you. 2 more times. Inhale to extend. Exhale to curl. Inhale to extend.
Exhale to curl. Inhale to extend. And exhale to reach back for your foundations, hand and knee back to the earth. Take a breath to reset and feel. Good. Now extending right arm, breath in, and breath out, reaching. As you inhale, extending left leg, you can press through the heel as well. And then exhale, knee and elbow together as you round. Feel the hand and knee that are still on the floor as you breathe in, extend. Breathe out, draw in. One more, inhale, extend long, and exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend, and exhale. Reach for your foundations, reach back for the floor. Take a breath to reset. Good. Just going to calm everything down a little bit again. Breath in. Belly down, head and tailbone up. Exhale and round. 2 more. Find the rhythm of your breath that feels natural and firm for you. Belly down, head and tailbone up. Exhale to round. 1 more. And round. Inhale to neutral. Let's take the knees out wide again. Exhale, touch toes and bring the hips back to your heels for child's pose. Good. You can breathe in, rise up, come back onto hands and knees. Exhale to set your foundations, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, toes tucked, breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. And exhale to round. Good, breath in, come to neutral. I want you to really feel as you breathe out as though your knees and hips here are a real anchor down towards the earth, and they're going to hold steady. So the hips are going to stay over the knees. I might walk back a tiny bit for more space. So this stays steady. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to walk the hands forward and offer the heart down towards the earth. And you might just come to about here. You might fold the elbows in and come to a half version of Anahatasana. Or you might extend the arms all the way and the chest sinking down. Try not to overbend the lower back. So a little gentle draw in through that lower abdomen. And inviting the opening in the shoulders, the armpits, the upper back. Good. Breath in, rise up, walk the hands back. Breath out to round, taking the spine the other way. Inhale to neutral. I'm going to exhale back to downward facing dog. So a gentle grip with the fingertips on the earth, toes tucked, hips up and back, and heels pressing towards the earth. If they don't reach, that's totally fine. Just finding this foundation, moving, feeling the energy move down through the backs of the legs into the floor. Down through the arms, and then back up again, back up through the legs into the hips, back up through the hands, the spine into the hips. Walk the feet forward as you breathe in. So you can bend the knees, slow, gentle walk. Feet underneath the hips, toes slightly turned in, knees bent. And a forward fold here. You can take hold of your elbows and really let your spine and your torso be drawn down by gravity. Feeling the invitation to open to the backs of the legs. You can release the hands. We're going to move really slowly here. So we're going to come to a standing position. I want you to take like the length of 2 or 3 breaths to roll up. So you might lift the toes and spread the toes. Lean a little into the heels as you bend the knees and feel the entire plane of contact, the soles of the feet on the floor. Then gently bending the knees. We're going to start to roll really slowly through the spine. Pressing down through the legs. The legs are firm here as you lift. Feeling all the way through the pelvis, the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, the shoulders, the hips. What is happening as you move? Until you find yourself in a standing position. Come to mountain pose, Tadasana. Seeing if you can keep that really steady, centered contact with the earth through your feet and your legs. And then open the palms up in front of you. So arms are by the side and palms facing forward. And notice how steady you can feel in the body. I'm going to breathe in, raise up the arms. I'm just going to turn to face you. Taking hold of your hands. Good. And setting the feet underneath the width of the hips. Breath in. And as you exhale, gentle bend to the right. Inhale to center. Gentle bend to the left. Exhale. Inhale up to center. And release the hands and exhale again to a forward fold. Soften the knees. Come all the way down. I want you to take a moment here again to find that space feeling what it's like to be very grounded and steady, feet firm, hips lifting, backs of legs opening, and the trust of the torso to just release and relax. The spine can lengthen towards the earth. Soften the neck, feel the pull of the crown down. You can even move the neck and head around a bit here, like make the shape no from side to side. Yes, forward and back. If it feels okay, if it makes you dizzy, don't worry, don't do it. And placing fingertips to the earth, feel that contact down as you breathe in. When you come to what's called a flat back position, so just lifting up about halfway here, as though you were making a bend back shape with the back. And then I want you to exhale and step a little wider. Just a little bit, like having maybe a foot, foot and a half between the feet. And walking your hands over to the right, so they're in front of the right foot. Softening the knees a little bit. I want you to breathe in and hands over here, drawing up in front of this right leg. And then we're going to come all the way, so it's a little bit of a bend, taking the arms up and overhead. And then exhaling down left side to the floor. Beautiful. And breathing in up from the left side. So we've got this kind of gentle flow, wave, waterfall effect as you exhale down the other side. Good. Breath in and lifting up right side. Overhead. Exhale down through the left. Last one, inhale, coming up. Up. And exhale down. Nice. Fingertips back to the floor, walk to the center. I'm going to turn the toe tips out. Maybe heel toe your feet a little narrower. And come down to a squat. So fingertips on the floor to support you if this is a tricky position for you. You can lift up the heels, have a bit of the weight forward, that's fine. Resting wherever you can. If you've got more space, heels to the floor, coming all the way back. Fantastic. Good. Like a little frog. And then however you can get there, supporting yourself with the hands to gently set your buttocks to the floor. Coming down to lay on your back. I want you to remember this idea of the posterior tilt. So that means these tops of the hip bones here going back. It's a better instruction in my mind than tuck the tailbone because we really want the pelvis to be moving here. And you'll feel as you do it. So we're in a position on our backs, soles of the feet on the floor, somewhat close to the hips, and pressing these hip bones down, which you'll feel flattens the curve of the back as well. Tuck chin. Good. Bringing your hands down by your sides, palms towards the floor. You're going to breathe in. And as you breathe out, I want you to try and hold this position of the hips, but lift them up off the floor. Posterior tilt, hip bones moving back, even though you're pressing the body forward into a bridge pose. You might lift up the toes here. Really try to press down through the back of the body. Good, and then exhale, gently set the spine back to the floor. Breathe in, bring your knees up, arms out to your sides, palms facing down. And exhale and take the knees over to the right for a twist. So feel the contact of the sides of your legs and knees coming to the floor. Let these come down first, and then breathe your way in deeper to set that right shoulder back towards the floor. Breath in, knees to center, and exhale to the other side. Feeling all the parts of your body that are in contact with the earth, the foundation of your pose. Coming back to yourself in this moment if you've become lost in thought. And breath in to draw the knees up. And breath out to set the soles of the feet to the floor. And then extend your legs long. Preparing for a few minutes of relaxation in Shavasana, corpse pose. Legs long, soles of the feet are open, arms down by your side, close but not touching, and palms up to the ceiling. I'm going to again take a breath in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Close down the eyes. Notice all the places in your body in contact with the earth. Back of the head, shoulders, arms, hands, hips, legs, heels. And feel into those spaces in the body. Not merely aware of them, but actually holding your awareness inside those parts of the body. Soften through the eyes, cheeks, mouth, jaw, tongue, throat, chest, belly, and pelvis, right down to the pelvic floor. And attuning to the foundation of life itself, your breath. In and out. What a wonder it is to be able to just breathe, to know that the next breath will come. Without any seeking on your part, the air is there for you. And the very foundation and substance of
what keeps you alive, the air, your breath. And you don't even have to think about it. It's just there for you. What might it be like to be like this for yourself, without even having to think about it? Your own foundations of your own heart, your own energy, just there for you. Gently deepening the breath and wriggling your fingers and your toes. You might take another sigh here, out through the mouth. Extend the arms above your head along the floor, breathe in. And exhale, stretch out, point the toes, reach the fingers. And gently curl your knees to the chest, wrapping in, rolling to one side, and pressing up to your seated posture. Once again, becoming conscious of the foundation of your seat, where in your body you feel contact with the earth and how it feels inside that part of the body. Touching your hands to your heart, remembrance of your intention to find your firm foundations. Take a moment to reflect on what has happened in your practice in regards to your intention and what this has been like for you. And bring the hands together in prayer, breath in from sit bones to crown. Breath out, we bow forward, a gesture of gratitude and respect to ourselves, the practice, and each other. Namaste.